Okay, so if you had to pick only one character, who was your favorite cartoon character? Only one.
I'm going to say Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. I'm not 100% sure that I won't regret that choice, but that is definitely a character that I enjoy, makes me smile. I think he's a very pure cartoon character. Like it's working on design of the character at a high level, but then also that voice,
The voice.
like the original like voice.
Yeah.
Like other people have since done that, like kind of like that's what an evil scientist sounds like,
Right.
but like I feel like they did it early on, and just I think it was Christine Cavanaugh did the voice. Just a beautiful, overly dramatic, the ego of that character, and then the ego failing. It's just it's pure cartoon magic.
Yes, that's a good one, and it's not an obvious choice either. So I'm quite impressed by that. Okay, all right. So, what is your favorite thing to
faces? Cartoon faces.
Cartoon faces.
Yeah, like dots for eyes, little face, like little characters, like whether they're animals or bunnies or little Muppet dudes. A lot of things are like Muppet whatnot kind of things, or they're just, I don't know what they're supposed to be, but they're little cartoon dudes.
So there we go. We brought in your Muppet love, because that does. So there's another influence on your work hugely.
Oh, hugely. Yeah, no, Jim Henson is like, all the people. Like I could be like, oh, Bill Watterson, but like I don't like think about Bill Watterson at all ever, right? Like whereas Jim Henson, I feel like is like a spirit animal, or guiding me through all of his creative choices and all of his sort of mission that is like the positivity. Because that was a big thing for me actually when I was young, in my 20s. Was like pivoting as a choice that I wanted to make my work really positive. And I think a lot of that came from like growing up loving Jim Henson and Fraggle Rock and all that, just like kind of just like, like let's leave the world a better place. And I kind of wanted to do that with Astronaut Academy and Unicorn Boy and all, Pup and Duck and all these cartoon characters I do. It's generally very like positive and kind of sweet, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That makes total sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why my brand is Yay Time.
That's Yay Time. Yep. Very, and also Bill and Ted. Right. Huge Bill and Ted fan. Right. Okay. So what would be your least favorite thing to draw?
I did a book called Astronaut Academy. And in that book, I made the desks like Jetson style so that I didn't have to like figure out like the gravity all the time.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of like floating desks that are kind of like hovering and stuff, so I could move them around and kind of make them like bending a little bit from time to time. That was a bit of a cheat because I hate drawing school desks in
perspective, right?
In perspective, multiple angles.
Yep.
And one of the things that I like will tell people who don't draw that they don't think about is that just drawing a person sitting in a chair is actually way harder than it looks, because the weight of someone sitting on that chair, like how do you convince people that they're sitting the way that they would naturally be sitting? And if you have a room full of like 20 different people, they don't sit exactly the same way. Everybody sits a little bit different.
Yeah.
So you have to like kind of play with it and like
that's fascinating. That's like my favorite thing to draw. So that's absolutely fascinating. That's so fun. Okay. All right. So we kind of talked about like Jim Henson, but the question was what inspires you. So it can be outside of that. So like think about anything. Like is there something in your life? It doesn't have to be artistic, but what really inspires you? Where do you feel like most inspired?
So not Bill and Ted, but
yeah.
I mean, watching movies for sure. Like I'm definitely a movie person. I'm definitely, as much as I'm like diehard make comics. I get way more excited going to a movie festival than going to a comic book convention. I just love old movies, new movies, class, all of it. But also travel, I would say, is another one too. Like going to different places, seeing different settings, the architecture of being in a foreign city. I just love I always say like I could go anywhere because there's always something to see, right? Like people are like, oh, that's such a boring city. I'm like, not to me. Like I enjoy every single city I've ever been to.
You love the signage,
I love
logos. Yeah.
I love the trash cans. I love the graffiti. I love the posters. I'll go to the supermarket and look at the cereal aisle and see, oh, in New Jersey, this is really popular. I'm in Delaware. What do they sell at the drugstores in Delaware? Like comparative shopping.
Right. But you have traveled widely, so you've actually been all over the world. I mean, you're one of the people, like, sometimes it's like a where in the world is Dave Roman. So yeah, I call him Dave Steves because that guy Rick Steves who does the travel show. So like he could have his own travel show because when he goes, like he like you wake up at the crack of dawn and stay up as late as possible to get as much experience. Yeah. It's exhausting.
Yeah, it is getting harder as I get older, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to make up for my lack of travel as a young person. Like, I really envy that kind of European lifestyle where those guys, like, once they graduate high school, they get their backpack and they just start, jumping on the trains and riding the rails and going from country to country. I didn't do a lot of that. I went to comic book conventions. I was so obsessed with making everything about my comic career that I would try to go to comic book conventions. But if it wasn't a comic book convention, I don't think I went anywhere. So now, later in life, I've tried to go to places just for the beauty, just for the inspiration, just for the people, just for the culture outside of, a convention floor and sitting behind a table with a square card reader and trying to, talk up my comic books.
One comic book convention in the Lake District. So it's an excuse to go to somewhere amazing and also see,
Yeah, someday I would love to. Anybody from the Lake District Comic Con?
Right, yeah.
I'd love to go.
Okay, so what is your absolutely favorite art tool or medium?
Currently, it's Procreate.
Procreate.
I'm a sellout. I'm like the kids. I'm playing with the Procreate. I only hate to say that because for many, many years, I was someone who preached the gospel of inking with a brush. I was someone who was very stubborn. When I went to art school, I struggled to master controlling a line with a dip brush. I don't think I really got the hang of it until like a couple of years after graduating. I grew up obsessed with Jeff Smith and Bill Watterson and Walt Kelly and like looking at all those beautiful lines and wanting to capture that. And it was like, took you a long time to master it. When I finally did it, like I'm not to say I'm anywhere near those guys, but made a line that I was really happy with. It actually became like a Zen experience. Like, inking with a brush is the closest thing to meditation on paper. Like there's a reason why it's like, the Sumi brush and the Japanese artist, right? It is a spiritual experience. It's the closest thing to like a flow state that you can get into. So I do miss it 100%. And I kind of feel bad that I started inking digitally, but getting back to loving to travel, the portability factor of being able to take a 11-inch iPad Pro into a restaurant, to my parents' house. I can visit family. I can sit on a park bench. I can make comics outside. Has been great for my sanity.
Yeah.
Versus sitting at a desk and spilling ink everywhere. I actually taught a class about inking and getting them to do hand inking, and I forgot, like, the brushes are all frayed, and you got to like resurrect your brush, and I left it too close to the heater, so now it's dead. And, and my ink dried out, and I got to replace the ink, and you got to refresh your brush, and you got to, how many times you have to dip it in the water versus the ink? Like, there's so much to it. So I can understand why people want to move away from it, and that's certainly why I did.
Do you have a favorite Procreate brush?
So I use a combination of a Walt Kelly replica brush.
Is that the Stave? Is it STA?
It's called Kelly.
It's called Kelly. No, I got one. I got two different ones. Did you get? Well, I'm asking where you got them from. Are they the George? So there's two kinds of comic cartoonist Procreate brushes that I have. One is made by this guy whose last name is, and he's like Swedish or something. Stave, STAYF. He makes a good Walt Kelly.
Yeah. Well, I think I got the same. I got the Bill Watterson brush and the Walt Kelly brush from the same guy, and it might have been part of the same pack.
Yeah, that's the other one. That's the other one. That's the one who has the Drucker, because I like the Drucker. That's the one that comes with the pack that has Kelly and Watterson, and there's a Schultz, which looks nothing like, it's like it's not going to give you the perfect wobble. It's like,
yeah. But to be fair, the Procreate de facto studio brush is pretty close to the Kelly. Like I actually find myself using that more and more, and I'm very impressed by the fact that that's just a default brush.
Cool. That's like the 6B pencil. I just use the 6B pencil because I think it's perfectly good instead of keep searching for some Procreate pencil.
The funniest thing about like working on Procreate all the time is that like now, like me and my like students and stuff, we always joke that like anytime we draw on paper, like we want to do like, we're always like,
you want to zoom in. Yeah.
Zoom in.
You go tap,
undo. Yeah. So well, I think that's the thing. Like I like you were someone who generously lent me one of your Cintiqs for a period of time to try to learn how to draw on a Cintiq, and I could not do it. And I actually tried again last week. SVA we have access to top of the line equipment, and for whatever reason, once it's locked in, once it's like to rotate, I have to like hit rotate, all that like clunky steps. And I remember people having it like on a pivoted like crane thing.
Yeah.
All those things just keep me from being able to do it. Whereas with Procreate, the fact that it's like there's no other buttons, like everything fades away. It's just the paper and your pencil. And then you can just zoom in so quickly and zoom out so quickly. And it's like nothing.
Yeah.
That was like a game changer. And now
I agree.
Yeah, so intuitive and natural. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope they make one a little bit bigger. I really do. I hope they make a.
Oh, the tablet?
I know it won't be as portable, but I would just.
They were talking about it. They were supposed to, and it never came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still use my 11-inch a lot because I like to go on the road with it. So, but I totally hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, so what would be your now, like looking into the future, your dream project to work on? In anything, I mean any genre, but just like if you could do anything,
stop motion, epic,
Well, I would love to do a short film for sure. Yeah, like doing an animated short film for a film festival. You mentioned the New York International Children's Film Festival that's put on by G Kids. Like, yeah, to go to a film festival and get to see a short film that I made, that would be amazing. Not sure how likely that's going to happen because comics so much time for me, and that seems to be like where my brain is at. But yeah, I want to like just be able to keep making fun stories that are the kind of, like I feel so grateful that I got to make Astronaut Academy. I'm so grateful that I'm getting to do Unicorn Boy. I really just hope I can keep doing it. Like I know, like, maybe I'm not dreaming big enough, but for me, I think, not everybody's lucky enough to get to keep doing it, right? Like some people just get to do it once and that's it. For me, if I'm able to keep doing books like this for the rest of my life, I generally would be just, that would be a dream come true.
Yeah, I agree. Pause.
I thought these rapid fire questions were going to
I know, I need to pause. What do you think? No, let's do it over again. Okay. What do you hope comes through in your work to your readers and viewers?
That's a great question that I would actually have to think harder about. But what I will say is that, and I'm not saying this just to be humble, but making books that take 3 years of your life, it's very easy to disconnect from reality and not know what's going to work and what's going to work and what people are going to connect with. And so just when a book comes out and a reader comes up to you and says like, hey, this scene worked for me. Like you'd be surprised how it doesn't happen all the time, right? Because we don't get to meet our readers that often.
Right.
So as humble as that, I just like when they get it. It's like, oh, you understood what the point was, or you understood what I was trying to do, which is so great. That said, I think feeling seen is probably my favorite thing in the world. So when Unicorn Boy book 1 came out, at my release party at Books Are Magic in Brooklyn. This was day one. The book had just come out. I signed some books for some people and then stayed afterwards to sign stock and talk to the store owners. And one of the kids during that time period had gone home, read the book, and then came back to see if I was still there, which I was. I mean, the chances were not that great, but I was like, yeah, I'm still here. Just to ask me a question about the book. And in this case, it was specifically like whether a character was intentionally non-binary.
Right.
And I said, yeah. And that's all I said was just like, yep.
Yeah.
And they looked at me with like, the straightest of face, and they were like, thank you so much.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is day one.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is the greatest feeling is when you know that a kid like connected,
Yeah. And what's great is that the way that I wrote the book and the way that it's sort of laid out, like there have been other kids who have asked kind of differently, right? They were like, are they non-binary, or like, I'm not so sure, or they are, right?
Yeah.
They kind of bring their own experience and whether they understand it or don't. So in a way, it's like, if you don't know, it's going to just go over your head.
Right.
But for the kids where it matters, like they get it. And like, that's sort of like, so like, that's really fun. And that's like, I don't know, like if that was like my goal, but like, it was like, it made me feel really good that I was like, oh, they got it. Like, and I remember reading books and like thinking like, oh, like I would be friends with this author, or, like, oh, there's this thing in the background. Like that's what I was mentioning, Evan Dorkin. Evan Dorkin would always put all this cool stuff in the background of his comics, posters, t-shirts, toys. And if you had any of those toys, or if you were a fan of any of those bands, it was like the coolest thing in the world to be like, oh, dude,
right,
we connect. We're having this moment where like me and this artist are sharing a mutual love for something.
Cool.
So I think that's kind of like, if anything, that's kind of the goal, right? Is like to kind of have those kind of connections.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to go into the bathroom. So I'm going to pause. Talk amongst yourselves.
Did you read, it probably was after you first got into Evan Dorkin, but Instant Piano?
Yeah. I learned about it afterwards. Like all those guys.
Yeah, Kyle Baker. That's when I first remember seeing Kyle Baker, and totally loved for
Kyle
my
Baker's
God, work. Basically everybody in Instant Piano,
Yeah. Well, did you know Steven DiStefano? You ever see his work?
Yeah. And now he does animation stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what's so funny is like he designs. So like my first published writing was for Dexter's Laboratory, and which was created by Genndy Tartakovsky. And like Gendy's last 2 or 3 TV shows, Steven did the designs for them.
Oh, wow.
Or at least like, the newest shows he did like all of the designs, and then some of the. And they were going to make a Popeye movie together.
I saw that trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bummer that never got. Yeah. I wish that had gotten made. That looked really cool.
That looks amazing. That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
That's well. Yeah. Is that Primal was the most recent one?
So Steven did work on that. He had one that came out after that called Unicorn Society.
Oh yeah. I've seen just some clips from that one.
Yeah. It's like a steampunk superhero. Like Victorian steampunk superheroes. Yeah. It's cool. It's funny. I love Gendy's stuff, but I feel like the stories aren't that great. Like I feel like the visuals always are so awesome, but like I never stick with it because the stories are not grabbing me. Like that was the same thing even with Samurai Jack, where it was like every episode looks so good, but I would forget to keep watching.
Yeah. I always meant to go back and watch more, but yeah. Visually, like the Bill Ray backgrounds in that one too, like.
Yeah, so Bill Ray, the first comic I wrote for Dexter's Laboratory, Bill Ray was the artist.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And I was like, lucky me, because that dude can draw.
That's awesome.
He was doing like by the end of that series, he was like painting all the covers. If you ever get a chance to check those out, they're really, really cool.
Yeah, Bill Ray is he's had quite an eclectic, career trajectory.
Oh.
Favorite cartoon obscure sidekick.
Favorite cartoon
obscure sidekick.
Obscure sidekick. Oh, this is one of them that I wish you gave me like time to think about it, because I could come up with something like really good. Obscure cartoon sidekick. Like what's even obscure?
Bleep. I have my painted Bleep. I have a big giant painting of Bleep that hangs in my studio. Bleep from Josie and the Pussycats. Like that. Yes.
I mean, the sidekick is what's making it hard because I always loved like Chilly Willy, like, you know, like the cartoons that were like you'd watch like Woody Woodpecker, but then there would be like these other cartoons, right?
Yeah, that's not a sidekick.
Yeah.
Think like Eugene the Jeep is like an obscure cartoon character, or the Great Gazoo, right? So like something that's like it wasn't a normal part of, or on the Herculoids, those little globby guys.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't remember that name. Yeah, because they didn't really talk, and they weren't the main characters.
Okay, that's fair.
Just recently, I'm asking you this because you just recently posted on Instagram. Oh, Dave, it's okay. We don't have to use this one.
No, I'm feeling bad that like
it's okay. You posted
like because I keep thinking, like I can't think of like sidekicks. Like who had sidekick?
Where is this? You said, let's have a moment for this little blue guy. Random moment for this little sidekick who was this little blue dog.
Oh, that's so funny. That's what I was gonna say.
Chomp Chomp.
I was gonna say the dog is back there. That was gonna be what I was gonna say. I was like, that can't count. Was that?
It does count. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So Chomp Chomp.
Chomp Chomp. Yeah, the little dog from Pac-Man. Okay, this is not. You know who I do like, more in the comics than in the cartoon show is, remember in the Carl Barks comics with Gyro Gearloose, he's got the little light bulb robot sidekick.
Oh yeah,
who's like a little pantomime character who like follows him around. So like while Gyro's like working on his inventions, like this little helper robot is helping him. Yeah, I love that guy too.
Yeah. You should do something with that character. You should draw him or something. Like bring him back into the consciousness. That's what I think. Like they all need their moment. And Gyro Gearloose. So, all right, now my brain's going through all of the obscure ducks, right? In those comics. What was the name of the duck that had the fancy greaseback hair?
Gladstone?
Gladstone. Yeah. Again, like things that you think in your head was like, I would fixate on the way that hair was drawn, the way it had the wave lines, and like, wow, that duck combs his hair.
I do that with Archie. I remember once I got a haircut when I got a buzz cut, and I wanted a pound sign grid.
Yeah, over here.
The way that Archie had.
That's hilarious. That's so good. Okay, so name your absolute 100% favorite comic strip.
Probably Calvin and Hobbes, which makes me super basic because every person of my generation is going to say that.
But it is that good. It is good. It is good.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
I want to give some love to like some deeper cut stuff, but that is
Give one deep cut one. Do you have a favorite that's not like, you can't say, BC or Hagar the Horrible? Like, do you have a deep cut favorite comic strip?
Have you heard of this comic called Peanuts? It's about these kids.
Never.
It's so weird. You never believe it. It's really funny. So listen, you might like it because it's got these kids that they talk like adults, right? So like they're having like really philosophical conversations, and the best part. Are you ready for this? There's this dog.
Yeah.
And you would think, because he's a dog, that he would be boring. But oh my God, this dog, like, he can dance. He can fly a plane. He wears sunglasses. He's like so cool that he actually has a whole other persona where they call him Joe Cool. That's just how cool this dog is.
Yeah.
But I was a big Far Side person. I know that's not really a comic strip, but I love the Far Side. That was a big part of my childhood. Foxtrot was like one that I really liked a lot. I want to give a little love to Cul-de-sac. This was a comic by Richard Thompson that came out a couple years ago. Richard passed away. I think that comic was going on its way to being like a modern Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah. That's a good one mentioned. Okay. So favorite, then next genre, favorite comic book and or graphic novel.
Favorite comic
or manga. Like if you one standalone sequential book, like if you like if you could only have one on a desert island.
Yeah, that's really tough, dude. Like to pick one is like really, really tough. Like I'm not good with the one thing or the desert island. I would need like the 5.
I love Desert Island Disc Show. I listen to that like all the time. Yeah.
How about what graphic novel or comic have you reread the most?
There you go.
Well, I'm going to say this, actually. I'm going to say it is the Bill and Ted's excellent comic book series by Evan Dorkin. Because, one, I already love Bill and Ted, so there's already that. It maintains like the positive vibes that I was talking about that I love. It's that worldview, like it's the world I want to live in. It's fun, it's adventure, it's upbeat. And it's got all the things that make an Evan Dorkin comic really great, which is amazing crowd scenes, tons of characters, all jammed into every single panel. Panels are just exploding with fun details. Every little button on their shirts, every little like thing in the background is having a fun time. Like Evan just would draw the heck out of those comics. So like I think that's gonna give me a lot of reread value because every time I read it, I might notice something different and have fun with it.
Okay, good answer. Then the last thing is the last genre. What is your favorite animated cartoon other than Three Caballeros? Because we already wrote that.
Again.
There's TV, there's film, there's anime. I know it's torture.
Yeah, it's torture. Yes. Just pick one. And I'm not going to pick one. I'm going to tell you 2 because they're very 2 ends of very far.
2 is fine.
Right. So just for the kids, we'll say I was going to say Dexter's Laboratory, but it's not. We're pushing that off. Yeah. We're going to say Kiki's Delivery Service by Hayao Miyazaki. Even just to have to pick your one favorite Miyazaki movie is impossible. Right. But as I've grown up, I found that Kiki is the one that I go back to the most. It's the one I relate to the most.
I thought you loved Ponyo. I thought Ponyo was your thing. Nope.
I mean, I love ham. Ponyo loves ham.
Yeah. Oh, so that's great. Kiki's my favorite.
No, Ponyo's not even in the top 3. I would say Whisper of the Heart.
Okay.
And actually Princess Mononoke as well. I love all Miyazaki movies. They're all great. Watch them all. But no, Kiki, because one, the setting, like that's where I want to live. I want to live in a coastal town where everyone's nice to each other and a young person can just start their own business. And, and when you're having a creative rut, you just go out to the countryside, hang out with an artist who just gives you a pep talk and you just chill for a couple of days and then you get your magic back. That is the best movie ever made. As I'm saying that, I'm like The Wrong Trousers, also the best movie ever made with Wallace and Gromit.
Yes.
But I want to give a little bit of love to The Completely Mental Misadventures of Ed Grimley, starring Martin Short and produced by Hanna-Barbera in the year of 1990. That is one of the most underrated cartoon shows of all time, starring the cast of SCTV in their heights. If you love SCTV, if you love all those amazing comedians, everything that's great about it is in that cartoon, and the animation is wild and wacky and wildly inconsistent, and it's got everything that's great about cartoons, and I could watch that over and over and over and over for the rest of my life.
That's fabulous. I haven't watched it. I must say. Yeah, I haven't even ever revisited that, although I did love the way they drew him. I remember thinking, wow, they nailed Martin Short in that drawing.
Yeah, and it does this really fun thing where they have like the main cartoon, but then they would cut to his favorite TV show, which was Count Floyd with John Flaherty, and then it would be like time for my other favorite show, and it would be these like 2 science guys, and you get like a parody of like a Mr. Wizard kind of thing, and it's just hilarious and it's so funny. And Catherine O'Hara plays a bunch of characters in it, and it's her best work. And I'm a huge Catherine O'Hara fan, and you cannot be a Catherine O'Hara completist without having watched her play Miss Malone, young actress, neighbor of Ed Grimley.
Okay. Wow, that was amazing. Wow, Dave, that's so. Chris, do you have anything to ask after that?
Can't tap that one.
I mean, I was going to say the Snorks, but
the Snorks. Oh, the Snorks. That was when I shut off my TV. When that theme song started, I was like, goodbye. I'm done watching. Came on after the Smurfs, so no Snorks.
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about Hanna-Barbera is like they were never content to do a cartoon once. They're like, let's do this cartoon 4 more times.
Yeah, right.
They beat the dead horses a lot. Yeah.
Like, let's take these same characters and just change the setting, and it's a whole new cartoon.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love Hanna-Barbera. That's what I did in my class where I was before you came on. I was talking to Christian about like you have to keep your slideshows limited. You have to limit it, no more than 35 slides, or you lose your audience.
Yeah.
And when I started down the Hanna-Barbera thing, like I didn't stop, and that was the slideshow where I was like, I'm losing them, because I just was like, yeah. So I brought in dry cereal for them to munch on. I kept saying, "Have my cereal." I would keep going with my slideshow. Well, thanks, Dave, for doing this.
Welcome. Anytime.
Yeah.
I love cartoons. I love you guys. I love nerding out about all this stuff. I could do it anytime. So it was a real treat.
You could cartoon everything.
I could.
Cartoon everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what podcast are you on?
Cartoon everything.
Hey, thank you. Now we can use that. Thank you.
If everything can be on a bagel, why not cartoons?
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for your generous time and wisdom.
Yeah, good luck launching.
Cool. Well, thanks so much.
Get some episodes in the cache.
What'd you say?
Get some more episodes in the cache.
Yes. Yeah. I thought you were asking for cash.
Okay. Cache with an E.
Don't forget to send me the cash.
Yeah.
Right.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. So awesome. I will talk to you soon.
Yeah.
All right.